everybody. Welcome to another bonus episode with the Zoo Crew. It is me. It is Joe Kasabian from Lions Led by Donkeys. Very early Armenian Joe, because he is in Armenia now. Who takes care of your dogs while you're over there?
I have a friend watching him. Yeah,
Oh.
it's not that it's surprisingly not that big of a pain in the ass when you live near a military base. So like
somebody who's like, do you like dogs? Can you take care of mine? But like not have any like real responsibility with dogs. Cool.
Are you a lonely person?
Would you like to just sit at my house and cuddle my dogs and forget how depressed you are? I would, actually.
They're perfect for that. That's what I do with them.
Yeah, exactly. They're used to it. They're fine if you cry on them. They don't even notice.
They're very absorbent. And we've also got Carey, the Shockmaster. Shocks. Carey, who we are trying to convince to start his own podcast, not about lawyering, which is very difficult to do, apparently, for a lawyer to not talk about being a lawyer. Somehow lawyers don't call themselves doctors, though, which I find to be very...
I mean, some do, but only the worst ones. Like, there's definitely like a thing that like shitty, like, 2L law students, like, oh, I'm gonna be a Juris Doctor. That's the same as like a No, it's not. It's not the same as it's not the same as a PhD.
Like, yeah, shut up.
It is 100% not the same as a PhD. Like, I'm actually like working at editing my friend's book because she's actually getting her Doctor of Law, and it requires significantly more work than anything I did in law school.
I think Ben Shapiro tried to say that once. He's like, well, I have a Juris Doctorate. That makes me a doctor. Yeah. Like, Ben, nobody cares.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm circling back to what I said. Only the worst lawyers try to claim.
And Ben Shapiro is actually married to an actual lawyer, an actual doctor.
Yeah.
Who he then asked about pussies being too wet, which I really want to know what that conversation is like.
Well, first she had to like show him what a pussy is, because like normally it's this spin instructor's job to do that for him.
He's not the barstool guy.
Yeah, that's right. For him, it's probably like the CrossFit coach or whatever.
Well, gentlemen, I've invited you here today because I want us to be men. I want us to be manly men. I don't
think you called us here then.
Yeah.
Well, we're all veterans. I mean, nobody can look. I mean, first off, before we get into this, gender is a construct and it's all bullshit. However, for the purposes of this podcast, we're going to be manly men. We're going to learn how to be manly men. We're going to learn how to be Missouri manly men, because that is a concern. That's a concern that we have here in Missouri. Josh Hawley, Senator Josh Hawley, you guys know him.
Noted manly man. Yeah, sure.
Noted toothpick on two fucking legs.
The man's hand looks like he has the softest hands, like a gentle caress, like a baby's bottom, but it's his hands. He told
so much. Thank you.
He just kind of reminds me of like the Slender Man a little bit. Like, doesn't he have like really long fingers?
Salad fingers, if you remember those.
Yeah. Say what you will about Slenderman, but nobody doubts his masculinity after he murdered all those children.
He's so tall. That's really where masculinity comes from, is how tall you are. That's what I've learned, which is why I'm
as someone who's
I'm 6 foot,
almost 6'4". Yeah, sure, I'll take that.
I mean, I'm a short king, and I have no. I mean, Joe and I've had a beer before. He knows, not tall. I'm not a tall human being.
He's a pocket lawyer. It's all right.
That's right. I hunch forward with horrible posture and eliminate at least 1 foot of my height wherever I go.
I mean, I was going to grow taller, but I just really wanted to be able to buy Joe Pesci's suit from My Cousin Vinny one day and have it fit. Unfortunately, I grew too tall for that, but not tall enough to really to get a basketball scholarship. So I'm just kind of in the middle here.
I just walk around like
so you had to slum it as a lawyer
with my hands clawed in front of me.
Bob Dole, he's always got a pen, man. So Josh Hawley, this is from the Post-Dispatch, my local home newspaper, from November 3rd. Josh Hawley is coming to the defense of the American male. The Republican senator from Missouri spoke Sunday at the National Conservative Conference in Orlando, Florida.
White knighting for other men, huh? I don't know.
Sounds sus. Very sus. How are you going to be a man for?
Is it gay to come to the defense of men?
Is it gay to be a man because literally you are a man, and that's kind of gay.
It's kind of gay. You look at yourself in the mirror, don't you, Josh?
Jacking off, man. You're touching dicks, aren't you? It might be your own dick, but you're touching a dick. It counts. It's kind of gay. According to the text of his speech provided by his office, Hawley accused liberals in government, the media, and entertainment of defining, quote, the traditional masculine virtues, things like courage and independence and assertiveness, as a danger to society. Ooh, all these things. Yes, that's exactly what everybody has been saying.
No, Josh, it's all of the terrorism that you've inspired. That's mostly the problem.
Hawley said the same masculine qualities being vilified, quote, have long been regarded as vital to self-government. Liberty, he said, requires virtue, and in particular, it requires the manly virtues. So what? We're all somewhat historically minded here. Let's go over some of the vital self-government manliness that our founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin, loved farts and old women, old prostitutes.
At the same time,
Ben Franklin,
it's like was it James Joyce? Also, big fan of a little flatulence, a little bit of fucking.
You know, what Josh Hawley actually fails to say is one of the most masculine things you could do is own other people as property. And that has been taken away from us by those goddamn liberal, that goddamn liberal Abraham Lincoln.
The courage and assertiveness to own a person.
I mean, I think we should really go full bore back into the manliness of the founding fathers and reintroduce pantaloons
and big dumb wigs, never bathing,
not showering ever.
Yeah, famously, weird British toffs are known for being just like the height of what we would currently consider like masculine expression.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm not. I understand that, like, historically, that humanity has continued progressing forward, and we're kind of at a precipice, and we can only go further and better onward, hopefully, as long as everything doesn't collapse. And in those terms, I don't really feel like I should be taking governmental advice from dudes that shit in holes 250 years ago. Like, that doesn't seem correct to me. So I don't really give a shit about them.
It's very fucking stupid. I think we talked about this on over on Lions a few times. But like when we talk about the founding fathers, when it comes to people like your Ted Cruz's, Josh Howley's, people that may or may not have an eye patch as a form of personality, like it's you're not actually talking about the people who existed. It's a lot like if we all like remembering back to our younger days, if you went through like a Reddit atheist phase and you really wanted to debate like a theist, like it's not like you're debating about a real guy. You're debating about like vague ideas and philosophies that are meant to deify someone. Like we're not talking about George Washington's treatment of his slaves, which were bad. The fact that he had teeth made out of slave teeth or dentures made out of slave teeth. We're not talking about that, the subjugation of a race that we consider lesser than ours to be a foundational moment in our national history. No, we're literally
written
ideas
into the Constitution. Yeah,
right. We're talking about vague ideas like manliness. Like these people like legitimately saw those stupid memes of like Trump with an 8-pack and be like, yeah, Benjamin Franklin totally looked like that.
Well, I mean, it's also the like it's even like dumber than that in some ways. I mean, in a lot of ways, but it's like, I mean, and you see like a little bit of this too with liberals on the other side with all the shit around was it the fucking
I mean, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, more recent example.
Well, I wasn't even gonna say that. I was gonna say what's the fucking Hamilton musical and shit, where they just have this like idealized version of like what they believe, like our founding, like I don't know, the founding myth of society to be, and it just like bears no relationship to anything really.
Yeah, it's not early American history. It's exactly what you nailed. It's like it's founding myth. Like it's a creation myth, but for a country.
Well, and I mean it's also that fucking that post that goes around every so often where it's like they're trying to get rid of our founding beliefs. Oh, really?
Good.
Which founding beliefs?
Yeah.
The founding beliefs. No, I want you to tell me. Is it like the belief in Like, is it the is it the Fourth Amendment? Is it the Fifth? Is it the Sixth? No, it's like, once again, like, you really just want to own slaves. Like,
I'm
you
gonna
really
kick
just
open Josh Howley's door and force him to quarter soldiers.
yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do.
It's like you really just wanted to, like, do and say and be like a racist piece of shit, but like instead you couch that in terms of, like, respecting the founding fathers and the founding myth of our country.
Well, it's like if you look at like Roman history, they have Romulus and Remus being raised by wolves, and we have like a whole bunch of white slave owning people actually being ethically and morally correct.
Yeah.
It's like, and I think that's one of the reasons why how the Howleys and the whoever's are like so vehemently against like historical education, because it doesn't take much reading to realize that, like, oh wow, this is all bullshit. Like, we should, like, and even if you were a lower class white guy, like, this is about like our founding. The founding of our nation was about owning people as property and not wanting to pay taxes, which, like, I can support 50% of those things. But like, let's be like, this. Most people like I could go. I don't want to go off on a tangent. Like, but most people at the time didn't even want to be like quote unquote Americans. They saw themselves as British. It didn't feel like paying taxes. That's all it was.
Right. That sounds like the foundational things that these people want. They want to shoot people in the face that want them to pay taxes.
Yeah, they want to be able to subjugate people based on race, and they don't feel like paying taxes.
So Josh Hawley goes on to talk. He says,
does he ever?
Yeah, he says, Hawley said men must take responsibility for their own actions. Quote, still, can we be surprised?
What's that, pot calling the kettle black?
Can we be surprised that after years of being told that they are the problem, that their manhood is a problem, more and more men are withdrawing into the enclave of idleness, pornography, and video games? The question is, how are we going to raise good men today? We can start by repudiating the lie that America is a systematically oppressive nation and that men are systematically responsible.
I must have missed that point where we had, like, a woman president who defended slavery or something. We almost did, to be fair.
We were close, man. We were so close to the more women prisons guards tweet being real.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that, like, Josh Hawley is telling people they need to take responsibility for their actions is fucking incredible. Because there's that, like, now infamous picture of him, like, throwing a goddamn fist up to people right before they charge to the Capitol and tase themselves in the balls to death.
Yeah,
like, you got to take we got to take responsibility for actions. Asterisks, unless you're me.
I hope you guys know also Josh Hawley has a podcast called This Is Living with his wife, where they sit on a couch next to each other. In one of them, he's wearing a vest, which I absolutely love dudes in puffy vests, because, like, literally it feels like only like weird Republicans wear them. If you're a weird leftist who wears them, I apologize, but
D-Ray. Yeah.
I like that it's their podcast. The bonus episodes are actually listening to Josh Hawley watch his wife get fucked by the groundskeeper.
That is just him crying.
The last episode of This Is Living is the year-end review. It's episode 9. It has 333 views on YouTube.
Wait, what? How the fuck does this guy have, like,
to be fair, my podcast on YouTube only hits about 500 or 600. There's a lot of different places that my podcast comes from. However, I remember, like, the first time his first podcast in this article, it's the inaugural episode, which started in November, and they did 9 episodes, and there hasn't been a single episode in, like, the last month and a half, because I'm sure that he's fucking lost interest in it, and as everybody else has, because nobody really, like, I'm sorry, there are too many boring white people with podcasts already. You cannot horn in on my shit, all right? I'm already here, Josh. You don't get to be the podcaster of Missouri. That's me. I started this shit.
I have a fucking local Emmy, motherfucker.
not local to here, but a local Emmy.
I think that, like, he was really hoping on like getting on the the conservative feedback loop, because like he's not the only Republican representative to have a podcast, but they all end up going on like the Dave Rubin show, Joe Rogan, Tim Pool, like whatever, and like nobody likes Howley. It's like Ted Cruz. Everybody's like, you are literally or Tom Cotton. Everybody's like, keep those fucking weird nerds away from me, as they like cozy up closer to QAnon moms.
Yeah. Well, and look, there's a couple days later, a Washington Post opinion about where his ideas for fixing American manhood. And I feel like this woman who wrote this, she did not have the what we have today, which is House Resolution number 288, which was introduced by Representative Ritchie. Representative Ritchie.
Yes, okay. Representative Richie Rich.
Representative Ritchie is the elected state representative Clay County, and if you listen to the Lions Led by Donkeys podcast, you will recognize Clay County as where Jesse James was from. So he's got the Kearney, Excelsior Springs kind of area. It's like northeast of Kansas City is where Representative Ritchie is. Some of his other bills that he has put in. Let's see. Provides immunity from civil liability for disclosures by a charity, nonprofit organization, religious organization, or church of allegations of sexual misconduct.
That is very specific. What Catholic congregation is he a part of?
Here's my favorite. Establishes the, quote, Born Alive Abortion Survivor Protection Act. I think that's all of us. Is that all of us? Did we all survive abortion?
Wasn't that a fucking...
That's a joke from like a fucking
where was that a joke from? That was a joke from somewhere. Like my mother tried
what, god damn it, I think it was an Adult Swim. I can't remember what it was.
Like my mother tried to abort me, but I survived.
Oh yeah. No, South Park was my mother kind. Was my mother kind when she stabbed me through the heart with a coat hanger while I was still womb. Let's go, beaches.
So he watched an episode of South Park and said, "My God, these people need to be protected."
Let's see. It looks like this is something that Senator Ben Sass also tried to.
I forgot about forward. That. Fucking, I remember he apparently hasn't posted anything on the internet for I don't know 3 months or something.
I think it says, good for him. I'm not going to say anything nice about Ben Sass, but it's probably a good move.
Well, it's just funny because for a while he was continuously publishing cornpone fucking op-eds in the New York Times.
Yeah, and shit he was talking about history because he has a history degree from some Ivy League, and every fucking article he posted was the most ahistorical mess on earth. I think the reason why he vanished is because his shtick as being no, I'm the moderate, normal Republican. That ship has fucking sailed, bro. You might as well be a communist now.
Sass says the legislation is necessary to guarantee the best care for infants. This is about making sure that every baby receives the same degree of care, whether they're born in a hospital or in an abortion clinic. What the fuck does that even mean? Who gets born in an abortion clinic?
So, that's the dumbest shit. What law do they think the loophole do they think they're closing? Do they think if you're not born in a hospital's nope, it's like a baby bird. We can't touch it or the mother won't take it back.
Yeah, I just don't I mean, on via that quote, it sounds like, oh, good, we're going to take care of babies that are born. Which we should be doing as a government anyway, making sure moms
and babies,
right? As soon as you come out. But this is
I'm kidding.
Sass is focusing on.
We're gonna bring 2000 all the way back and start making dead baby jokes. Just really going for it. Just getting really, really deep into internet lore here.
We get elected to office just so I could read them in a congressional fucking testimony or something.
Apparently this is for abortions that are very late in pregnancy, which is not really a thing that happens that often.
Which is also those are already illegal. That's the thing is they keep trying to make, I know what they're doing before anybody says you don't understand. They're I completely understand what their tactics are. You can see them in Texas and various other states of the South. However, these late-term abortions were already 99% of the time illegal, and they pass those abortion laws and slowly creep them back until it makes them functionally illegal entirely.
Yeah, if you are, because I did know somebody who had a late-term abortion because the baby was going to be stillborn. And
Right.
and it was incredibly horrible and traumatic for that family. Thankfully, they were able to have another child later on. But like having an abortion in Missouri is hard fucking enough. To try to be like, look, I have to do this. Otherwise, I'm just carrying a dead baby inside of me until it decides to pop out, which is just horrible.
And it's a risk to their life as well.
Exactly. So let's go through House Resolution number 288, put in by Representative Doug Ritchie, born alive survivor protector day. Everything else he does.
Adding that to my resume. Born alive.
He's also got provides for protections for parental rights and transparency in public schools. Which I support, but it's always
no.
Well, I
fully support less parental rights in schools because look where it's gotten us.
I actually support.
The problem is the parents, not the rights.
I actually do support transparency in public schools. I believe that all public schools should be built entirely out of glass.
Just like their backpacks got to be clear. Now the walls have to be too.
I believe all public schools should be made out of a thin, pliable material, much like a plastic bag. And when everybody goes in there, it just needs to be zipped closed.
How bad can that go? Oh God!
It'll protect them from COVID.
Oh man, just watching the last third of ET and going, I have an idea for this.
About 2 minutes in until somebody starts hotboxing it. All right, House Resolution 288. Whereas healthy, functional families are fundamental to a free and vibrant society and stand as chief deterrent to social ills, and
that seems false. I don't know anyone with a good family, and we all still survive anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, it's. I would love a definition of a functional family because
I thought we were supposed to I thought adversity was supposed to make us stronger, and we were supposed to overcome it, and that was supposed to build character.
Your father coming home drunk and beating you is actually part of a functional family. It teaches you how to be tough.
Oh shit! In that case, my family was really functional.
Yeah, Joe's the most manly Missourian that we have on the show right now.
I love that in accordance with Josh Hawley's wishes. My father, in fact, was a good father.
All right, and I don't know why there's all these whereases, but it's very strange. I don't understand how these things are written.
It's essentially just like a drafting thing that you do when you do executive and legislative shit.
All right, so whereas sturdy, functional men are fundamental to families, and
sturdy.
Are you guys sturdy and functional?
My knees hurt quite a lot.
I mean, once again, I am, just kind of short and built for picking potatoes because of my ethnic background. So I am kind of sturdy, just as a person.
You got a low center of gravity. I think that's what this is talking about. Real Missouri men have low centers of gravity. Real Missouri men crouch down and have giant asses so that they can't weeble wobble over.
Real Missouri men have huge juicy dumpers.
Missouri men do deadlifts until their asses are 3 times the size as a normal man.
Hear me out. I have an idea for a new state flag. I'll get with you guys later.
All right. Whereas the current breakdown of family can, in part, be attributed to the lack of cultural interest in honorable, virtuous, and vigorous manhood, while at the same time there exists a functional fixation upon toxic masculinity. Vigorous manhood comes up in this more than once. I will go ahead and tell you.
I refuse to accept that vigorous manhood means anything else than butt stuff.
Why is it the more manly that Republicans try to get, the gayer they sound?
It's the same people. It's we need to return to tradition and post Sparta stuff. Right. All right, buddy, stay away from the kids.
That sounds like a libertarian to me. Libertarians are Spartans. It's we get to not wear clothes, we get to own slaves and fuck kids. Hell yeah, Sparta.
Yeah, famously too, the Nazis were really into calisthenics and nudism and celebrations of the Ubermensch. So this kind of
heard it here. If you exercise, you're a Nazi.
Yeah, yeah, I want to be really clear on that point.
Once again, Joe, still the most manly Missouri man here.
I already get accused of being a Nazi due to my schoolwork. Now I'm also a Nazi because I work out. God damn it.
Wait, your school? Who's saying you're a Nazi because of your schoolwork?
Oh, it's because like we study like the Holodomor and like Stalin's genocides. They're like, oh, that's Nazi propaganda.
Did somebody say the Holodomor existed? Did somebody say that it happened? Oh, Joe, you can't say that online.
Shame. Yeah, getting called a Nazi by someone too anxious to go to a fast food restaurant really hurts my feelings.
All right. I hope you guys are ready to get in some stats here. All right. Whereas children are 4 times more likely to suffer poverty absent a father, whereas children are 7 times more likely to face teen pregnancy absent a father. I think
specifically by the guy writing this bill.
If you don't have a dad to protect you against me, it's your own fault.
Oh, God.
Whereas children are 2 times more likely to drop out of school absent a father.
You know who had a father? Joseph Fritzl's kids.
He went to school and now look what happened to him.
That's right. He took one class, how to build basement.
All right. Whereas children are 5 times more likely to suffer behavioral problems absent a father. Whereas children are 2 times more likely to suffer abuse and neglect absent a father. Though I think Joe would have been 2 times likely to not suffer abuse and neglect absent a father. So
yeah, definitely the best choice my family made was getting rid of that guy. Shout out to Remington for making a solid shotgun.
Only been used once.
Yeah, it's like a French rifle. Used once, dropped once.
Whereas children are 2 times more likely to be incarcerated absent a father, whereas children are 4 times more likely to die in the first 28 days of life absent a father.
Those are the immaculate births, I assume.
Where are these stats coming from?
I love that every social and like institutional failure is like, no, this is because there aren't enough dudes around.
One, it's also like clearly it's causation, it's not correlation. Like clearly there's nothing else going on here. It's just the fact that like fucking Ward Cleaver is like not coming home every day in a sweater vest to like drink a martini and make sure everyone took their fucking Quaaludes that day. That's the fucking issue. It's nothing else.
This is one of those classic cases of when you get a bunch of like proper stats and then you just decide to cram your own weird beliefs behind them. And it's like, yeah, these stats are probably true, but not in the way that you're trying to tell me that they're true.
Well, I mean,
like,
it's like
the answer to this isn't you need to be more vigorous. You need to be a more vigorous man.
Like, you don't need to be more vigorous at anything. Anybody who tells you need to be more vigorous than something, you should not trust that person.
I mean, if someone
is not a thing that people say.
If someone's telling you that you need to be more vigorous, just check and see if they're like some sort of like Teddy Roosevelt reenactor. Because all I can think of is that like, they're going to tell you to be more vigorous and then like start telling you to like toss a medicine ball around.
Like you got to eat like a pound of steak and eggs for breakfast, and
never shit again.
go lift up barbells that instead of having plates are just balls on the end with like a number on them.
Yeah, you need to be more vigorous. So put on this unitard and go, pedal this 3-wheel bicycle around. Like,
sorry, but if there's a guy in 2022, I almost said 2021, 2022 is saying the word vigorous, he's jerking off at a bus station.
The only other place that I can imagine where the word vigor is used constantly is in the BioShock game. So unless Andrew Ryan is going to make flames come out of your hands, vigor is not a thing you got.
Josh Hawley tried to get vigor by injecting bleach into his wrists. This worked in the video game.
Yeah, he's using bleach because he just wants to make things whiter.
Whereas I installed a beehive in my wrist.
Okay, let's see. Whereas men over 30 years of age are more likely than women to have extramarital affairs. Whereas men drive 70%.
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know.
This is about children.
No, see, it's about you need to be a good dad is what this comes down to.
They're going to legislate that into existence.
I don't know. I don't know what this is. Like, look, we'll get to the end of it, and then I still got a lot of questions because, like, I don't know who this is for. Like, I know about it because I'm eternally online and I watch way too much local politics stuff. So I know about this, but like, do the people who are just like, man, I really want to like, bang somebody that's not my wife. Oh, wait. House Bill number 288 says I shouldn't do that. Like, what the fuck?
Strongly discourages it.
Yeah. I need to be more
about Josh Hawley while I cheat on my wife.
As long as you cheat on your wife with vigor, you're fine.
Just lying back and thinking of Josh Hawley.
Ugh. That's
Let's
one way
see.
to never cheat on your wife, because your dick simply will not function.
Whereas men drive 70% of the demand for the pornography industry, resulting in more casual responsibility regarding sex trafficking. I do not think that is a correlation.
What?
Yes, let's read that again. Men drive 70% of the demand for pornography. Of the demand for the pornography industry, resulting in more casual responsibility regarding sex trafficking. Watching a video on YouPorn is apparently, and I mean, there's an argument to be made about, the pornography industry and sex trafficking. That's why, like, you should get your vegetables and your meats local. You should get your pornography from OnlyFans, where you can directly support the women and men taking off their clothes for you.
This is the easy pornography from the farmer's market.
Exactly.
It's like
I got my turnips. I got some fresh salsa, and I got this
and a cart full of strong pornography. Just
vigorous pornography. Let's see. Whereas the entertainment industry devotes significant resources to exhibiting toxic masculinity, which I think is true, but like in that way of every dude.
Not in the way that Josh Hawley probably thinks that is true.
Right. Like, they do devote significant resources to exhibiting toxic masculinity. That is a big problem with. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Their ideas like dudes should be guys, and like every action movie or war movie or whatever is starring someone they desperately want to look and act like. Like,
well, that's what I mean. Like, where he's saying that it's like, I would imagine that our definition of toxic masculinity and the one that Hawley might use are probably two different things. Like, I imagine, like, he believes that toxic masculinity is like, I don't know, Robin Williams in the Birdcage, and not whatever fucking action star like beating the shit out of like Daniel Craig, like being an emotionally abusive like Sheldon in James Bond film.
John Wick murdering millions of people over a dog. That's a man right there.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Certainly not a person who should probably be medicated.
Hey, if they didn't want to catch his hands, they shouldn't have killed his fucking dog.
That's fair enough.
I mean, that's fair. I mean,
he didn't know. They didn't know. And that sucks. Okay, let's see. Devoting toxic masculinity. Whereas young men require a clear challenge from exemplary male role models to combat the pervasive influences and effects of toxic masculinity. So we need we need male role models.
At this point, I'm completely lost as to what they consider toxic masculinity.
I think that the influence is an effect of toxic masculinity, but they don't think that they think that toxic masculinity is good, or maybe they think toxic masculinity is like where we say that you should treat women with respect.
Yeah, I think this might be like they've taken all of what they can, like the old YouTube SJW cringe videos, and consider those like toxic masculinity or something.
Right. This is devolving into like a weird YouTube video. This is like hour 7 of a YouTube video about toxic masculinity, where the Sargon of Akkad. Yeah, where Sargon starts reading his manifesto before like blowing his own fucking head off or something.
Inshallah. Do it, pussy.
Okay, and whereas the state of Missouri increasingly dedicates taxpayer resources to address the aforementioned concerns, so y'all, you non-manly men are sucking up taxpayer dollars. So fucking cut it out. All right.
All right.
Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the Missouri House of Representatives 101st General Assembly, first regular session, hereby commend exemplary men in Missouri for their commitment to an honorable, virtuous, and vigorous manhood, desiring that their sacrifices and efforts in the, quote, arena not be forgotten. Literally, arena is in quotations. I do not know why. I do not know what...
Wait. Do they consider their old former governor to be a virtuous, vigorous, manly man in between him doing various sex crimes?
If he's still married, then yes. As long as he's still taking care of his kids, he's a vigorous man.
Well, so
I think he was married because he literally kidnapped his wife. Like she couldn't divorce him.
Well, he kidnapped the woman that he cheated on her with too. So I mean, it seems like he was a Navy SEAL. That's what they do. They kidnap people and fuck them.
They
one
do
way
crimes.
or the other. They do crimes. That's just what Navy SEALs do.
It's Navy SEAL culture is doing crimes, then be like, yeah, I did those crimes. So what? You gonna do? Hold me accountable, pussy?
If you're a Navy SEAL and you're mad about this, just go ahead and put it in your next book. I'll be sure to not read it.
I would like to see the Navy SEAL caucus that listens to this podcast.
Oh fuck! I mean, this is like what is it? Like I sent you the guys the thing earlier today that was like the fucking was it Van Dyke or whatever? Not the Nazi attorney in Texas, but like the Trump judge. And like, and he wrote like he wrote some opinion that was essentially the whole thing was just this weird sarcastic like bullshit on the Ninth Circuit. And like, and essentially just the Reddit, the Reddification of like, fucking society at this point. That's what this shit is. It's just like, it's a fucking Reddit post, but it like drafted like it's a legislative bill.
It's right.
This is like, you know what I mean? Like
this is exactly like some weirdo that I had in my podcast, in the podcast account mentions not that long ago, who got really, really mad at the Lions Led by Donkeys Yokio Mishima episode from 2019, mind you. This happened like this week. And they were just like posting shirtless photos of Mishima with samurai swords and talking about it, like, and quoting him about masculinity. Like, that's what happens if this guy gets elected to the Missouri State House.
He would fit in very well here, apparently.
Fascist, I'm sure, really into dudes with muscles. Probably
yeah,
gay.
I mean,
yeah.
And you know what? Missouri would absolutely love to bring in to be like, look, we're not racist. We also have a Japanese fascist here. We're really, spreading it around a little bit because Italians and Germans are white now. So you really got to find like a fascist that really like hasn't melting potted their way into Missouri yet. Because I mean,
we always go and get one of Pinochet's kids still floating around like BBC
exactly.
did.
Yeah, or Mussolini's granddaughter. Like we're going for the deep cut fascists. Like everyone has their like obvious favorite, big time ones. We're going for the deep cut. The indie release, the only put out 1 7-inch sometime in like the 1940s sort of fascists.
I don't think we have to worry about Josh Hawley putting out a 7-inch.
Hey.
All right.
I don't know that either. It's okay.
And it's fine. All right. Let's finish this off. Be it further resolved that we call Missouri's young men to engage in the, quote, Missouri Manhood Challenge, end quote, which targets the same honorable, virtuous, and vigorous manhood. Vigorous manhood is used 3 times in this. This is not a very long bill. Take up this challenge, young men, by rejecting the objectification of women, by striving for future excellence upon becoming husbands and fathers, by sacrificing for the good of others, by developing capabilities that lead to greater self-sufficiency and familial sustenance, by strengthening yourself spiritually, mentally, and intellectually and physically, and by embracing the essential role you play in securing a free, vibrant society. We are confident that you will find that this challenge is worthy of your devotion. To borrow from Alfred Lord Tennyson, its fruit justifies the strength of your will to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield in this consequential endeavor.
I'm Johnny Knoxville, and this is the Missouri Manhood Challenge.
I read this because I'm insane.
Sure.
I don't know. Like, is this being posted places for like who?
Gab, probably. Yeah.
How are we challenging Missouri men to do this? Like, the bill didn't go anywhere, so I don't know. Like,
I can't believe this wasn't voted on.
Yeah, I don't know if like maybe it had been voted on. They'd send an email or something. I'm not sure.
This reminds me of every bill that Ron Paul ever wrote.
It's just like some weird, insane thing.
Except with fewer slurs in it.
Yeah. No, that's just his newsletter.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Look, we don't need slurs when we've got our vigorous manhoods.
It's implied when you say you're taking part of the Missouri Man Challenge. It's like it's like that challenge that you have in like grade. So it's like name every capital of every state of the United States. Like name every slur for black people.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm gonna have to play that next time at the next Circle of Death drinking game I'm in. Everybody has to say a slur.
And a recording, go.
So there is a website called Missouri Manhood. Now it is
a porn site?
So I was going to say, what else did you find when you were looking for that one there, Francis?
What kind of porn does this show?
It doesn't. MissouriManhood.com is
That's kind of disappointing, to be honest.
It's an anti this bill thing. It's got a Drake no on. Instead of Drake, it says Rep Richie helping Missouri citizens during a pandemic, and Rep Drake yes is challenge their masculinity. And then it's got some, it's got some like, you can join Big Brothers and Sisters, Planned Parenthood. There's not a whole lot to it. This was slapped together by somebody just to kind of make fun of it, but
I just assumed it was like a weird liberal takes on what manhood was, like rather than like the concept of manhood itself is inherently fucking stupid.
No, it's under the Do Better Missouri. It says this type of blatant waste of taxpayer dollars is both morally and fiscally reprehensible. It is unacceptable that we consider closing underperforming schools instead of fixing them, and then suggest to fund a program with no real goals other than to have vigorous manhood. Our state senators and members of Congress should absolutely be ashamed of the way they are running the state. Why don't we tackle a few important issues during this time of state and national crisis before looking to fund pet projects? Like, does this even cost any money? Like, it's just
the state is developing vigorous manhood and somehow cost $30 billion.
I mean, until the point that you develop like a state like Missouri youth program. Like I don't.
Yeah,
think,
those brown uniforms cost a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know. It's just like It's also just funny to me because it's like always like fucking nerds like Hawley or Cotton or like whatever that like propose this sort of shit.
Yeah, they're always dudes who look like Earthworm Jim on fucking like anti-depression drugs.
And they've all been like, they all go to like fucking Ivy League schools and like they all like do whatever and like they all have the same backslapping. I mean, it's like fucking Tucker Carlson. Like the man wore a fucking bow tie as an adult on a regular basis, like well into his like 30s and 40s.
Yeah, like none of these people so hard he lost his job and then stopped wearing bow ties.
And his bow tie. Like he got the bow tie owned off of him by fucking Jon Stewart. Like holy fuck, man. Like, just like and like meanwhile we thought to hear about. I mean, it's like what's his name? Fucking Rufo, whatever the fucking anti critical race theory guy. And like he's always like, I mean,
the kid from Hook?
Yes. But he had like that
Rufio! Stop being racist!
He had that thing like maybe like, I don't know, like a fucking year ago or something where he was like, well, I'm going down to, one of the last places where men can be men, the fucking barber shop where we just, it's just car magazines and whatever else. And
I do remember that.
Yeah. And it was just like, man, you look like the biggest fucking suburban nerd. Like, my life has not been particularly tough, but if I ended up with you in a back alley, I could totally just like take your fucking wallet and your watch. Like
you'd be able to be way more vigorously manly than him.
Like, it's people like we constantly talk about Tom Cotton as well, a man who's like always framed his manhood as like his military service and is so touchy that if you comment on the fact he never actually became a company commander and you're still in the military, I can confirm from people who have told me his aides will DM you and threaten your career.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like, they do all the same shit. I mean, all the same weird performative masculinity shit of like, oh, well, I was out like, working on my car earlier. And it's like, motherfucker, why would you change your oil? Like, why would you like it's so much more of a pain in the ass to do it at home unless you can easily dispose of the oil than it would be to just like go to fucking Jiffy Lube. Like,
It's like whenever they take the campaign ads of them like handling guns, and every single one of them is handling them like they're like out of holding a newborn baby deer, and they have no idea what they're doing.
Nothing is better to me than a picture of fat dudes in button down collared shirts and dress slacks at a gun range with a gun that they obviously do not own, that has obviously been professionally cleaned, like it came off of a rack somewhere, and there's just we're so manly with these guns. It's like, dude, please do, like, let me see your shot grouping. oh no, we're not going to see that. We're just going to get pictures of you shooting, but we're not going to get pictures of like how shitty you shoot. Cool. All right, that's fine. Like,
like the Madison Cawthorn with 2 pistols flagging himself like 6 times is a classic.
That dude is gonna like, he's gonna be the only man that like becomes paraplegic and then accidentally makes himself a quadriplegic.
Yeah, just from like bad range.
Accidentally
safety.
just fucking pump around into his own chest.
just slowly killing his body upwards.
Well, it's
until
like
he's Christopher Reevesing, but still being incredibly racist.
He might be one of the few people in office that hates himself as much as we all hate him.
Yeah. I talked to somebody who interviewed him, and he's a politician. He's a guy who does not say anything worthwhile or anything that makes sense. Like everything from the interview, it was Jasper Craven, who I've had on, we've done bonus episodes with, and I asked him, like, you actually talked to Madison Cawthorn. What is that dude like? What is he like as a person that is not the weird dude that I see on the screen? Is like, he's just a politician. He says the right things because it's the right things to say, and that's how it works.
Like, I mean, the word right is very relative there.
Right. He says the right things to make people like him.
He's a politician born of the internet. He's like 26, isn't he? Yeah. He's pretty fucking young.
Yeah, you know what that means? He's going to be around, like, you know, for fucking ever. Like,
I mean, I honestly don't think so. Like, I think he's eventually going to do something so stupid he's going to get primaried from someone even further right or something like that.
He's gonna take the communist position of maybe 5 guns is too much. On my body armor, and just like, you fucking bitch, get out of here.
Yeah, or like, he's gonna get primary from someone who explicitly did go to the Eagle's Nest because they're a Nazi.
He's gonna get primaried by an actual quadriplegic.
Like, it just, I don't know. I mean, like, all these guys do. I mean, obviously, as you said, like the whole idea of like, masculinity and like this whole kind of like weird, like, straight male bullshit thing is like, it's so fucking false in the first place, but it's also like, it's so weirdly narrow. Like, it's like such a weird, like, kind of, and it's become such a weird construct of like, you drive your like spotless F-Series truck to your fucking office park, and you have your like AR-15 that you never shot, and you like, just like this whole, I don't know, this whole weird package deal that you like get to do now that is just, it's so fucking foreign to me because, and as a fucking coastal elite, it's one of those things where it's like, even like my experience in life has been like more like rough and tumble than whatever fucking bullshit you guys have been doing. So like, I don't really understand.
I think it's I think it's a lot easier for people to subscribe to these concepts of masculinity. I mean, of course, they were raised with them because their dad was probably a piece of shit. Right. But like also because it's easier than developing a personality. Like they've absorbed these concepts of like manhood, and all the things that we're listing are all consumerism based. Like, you can't drive a Prius. Yeah, you can't drive a Prius. That shit's gay. You have to have a big old truck because the commercial makes your pee hard. Right. You have to dress a certain way because like Levi is like or whatever. Maybe they're boycotting Levi's now. I can't. No,
they're boycotting Carhartt. Yeah, because Carhartt wanted to take some minimal steps of protecting their employees against COVID, and so that means that they're communist pussies.
Jack Posobiec posted a thing of fuck Carhartt. You should take 10% off from this place with this. I can't remember what the company name was, but like people were like, dude, that stuff is like $200. Like,
Carhartt, it's like Patagucci and shit.
Yeah, it's like dude, the Carhartt stuff like will last forever and is like $100.
See, that's the thing, is like all of these things are directly grounded in what they could buy. It has nothing to do with how they are as a person. Like the Missouri Manhood Challenge or whatever, like it has like stupid like little bullet points of how they kind of expect you to act, but not really. Like it's all based on aesthetics because inside they're fucking hollow. There's nothing to them. Like they don't do it. They don't like look at Josh Hawley and tell me what his personality is. That's a man whose favorite color is gray. His favorite food is lettuce, and he enjoys a nice, tall, cool glass of water, but not too cold. It hurts his teeth.
Wasn't it fucking Mitt Romney who like said that
he
his
enjoys
favorite
hot dog meat?
yeah his favorite meat was a hot dog, like or like infamously, I remember you and fucking Nate talking about it, Francis, about Tom Cotton just like eating birthday cake on a regular basis.
Yes, the man loves specifically birthday cake,
and not even like not even like a fancy, but like essentially like sheep pan birthday cake. Like
just gonna go down to Walmart and get a birthday cake because it's Thursday and I had a rough day.
Fuck, man. Like all these people are just like weird. Like
all politicians. All politicians are mutants. All of them, even the ones you like.
No, it's 100% true. It's 100% true. Yeah.
Jason Kander. I love Jason Kander. He's been on the show. He's a Missouri politician. He's not in politics anymore because of PTSD problems, and he runs this great project building tiny homes for homeless veterans. It's great. It's wonderful. I love him. He's a wonderful person. However, one time on Instagram, he posted like, here's what I eat during the day because people have asked me about my diet because he's very health conscious. The man eats like a crazy person. It's just like, oh, here's me at 10 o'clock having my cottage cheese and ketchup before dinner food. It's like I and then I have like 7 almonds. It's like, will you just be normal? God.
You're 100% right. Like, I mean, look at people like, obviously we've talked about Hawley Cotton, but like, more well-known people like Ted Cruz, when he was like a weird debate kid his entire life with no form, like he's never enjoyed anything in his entire life. These people are created in fucking labs. They have no personality, and that directly reflects on like the culture war that their fucking voting base like fucking slurps up like slop. Like this Carhartt shit, they've boycotted. I can't keep track of all the things they've boycotted now. It's a lot, but like as you can tell, it's always like product based. Like it's a product based personality that isn't actually real. Like you have to own an AR. You have to wear fucking, I don't know, not Carhartt anymore, or something probably even dumber and more expensive. You got to wear fucking cowboy boots. You better sleep with a MyPillow.
Yeah.
They had what was it, the Keurigs, the Keurig coffee where like even Keurig came, like people were destroying their $300 Keurig machines, and then Keurig was like, I don't know what you people are talking about, we never said any of that stuff.
Or what is it, fucking Nikes, because Colin Kaepernick and shit,
right?
You know what I mean?
Not the fact that they're made in fucking sweatshops because they signed a deal with Colin Kaepernick. It's like all of these things, and all these boycotts are fucking ridiculous. Like burning their Carhartt jackets, smashing their Keurig. Like that's the only way they know how to show displeasure, because that's the only way they know how to enjoy things is by like material products. So if I destroy it, they're owned, despite the fact I already bought this thing with my money.
Well, it's also through violence. They have to show manliness by being violent. Like Eric Erickson, who famously shot a newspaper.
Softest motherfucker on earth.
Yeah, who famously shot a newspaper because they printed an article that was just like, maybe we shouldn't let crazy people have guns. And Eric Erickson's just like, well, quickly I'm a crazy person.
Yeah. Eric Erickson, a guy who walked half a mile from a restaurant and hurt his feet.
Well, there was the fucking dude recently because Trump came out like in favor of the vaccine because it was something that he created, so he wants to be proud of it. And and someone like had a video of them like running over and like shooting or setting on fire their fucking like MAGA hat like on the side of a road somewhere.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And so, like all I can think of is like, imagine being the guy who's like stuck in traffic looking at that like at a fucking red light, and you just see this dude like yelling into like, an iPhone that's on a stand in the corner of this fucking field, and then like stomping on something, setting on fire, and then running it over with a truck. Like
that neighbor has been an issue for quite some time. I'll put money on it.
That's what the police know as a trouble process, a nuisance property.
It's like all of these people kind of look like that Texas lawyer named Harlan, whatever. That just looks like gigantic boss baby.
Piss boy.
Was it Harlan Hill?
Yeah, yes, Harlan Hill.
Yeah. Like they're gonna say they're gonna go to war or whatever over whatever fucking thing that they invent in their head.
I'm packing a suit and I'm going to war in Philly, like, and it's
I'm putting a team together. Like everybody in Philly's like, please come to Philly. Like
Yeah,
we
like,
destroyed. Philadelphia destroyed a hitchhiking robot because it could.
They threw batteries at Santa Claus.
They need to grease up the fucking telephone poles and the light posts every time they have win a championship. Yeah, because otherwise you'll just climb that shit. Like, all right, like I don't know, fucking go for it, I guess. Like,
God, Philly people are just like Philadelphia is just a fucking weird place, man. Every time I've been, I love my Philly people because like
Liam is from Philly. I love Liam, but also I don't want to fuck with that city, man.
I love visiting Philadelphia. I don't think my St. Louis ass could live there though. Like don't get me wrong. I come from a place where like we murder the shit out of each other constantly. I've heard gunshots while we are recording this episode. However, Philly, here's the thing. Philly's just kind of a weird that I don't understand, and it's one of those weirds that you have to be born into to really like get it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's difference because I mean, there's violence everywhere, but then there's like, you can get beat to shit by some like random dude, in any city in the country. But like, I feel like in Philly, you get beat to shit by someone holding like an Eagles novelty dildo, and like that's like what ends up being like what has to go in your obituary, and that's like a different level.
Philly is like a real life Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, where it's just like you might get beat the shit beaten out of you with a giant purple dildo. Or run over by a tiny scooter called a faggio. I don't know.
Well, I mean, like, just like going back to it too. I mean, you could tell that the bar for just like politicians being normal is so low because do you remember like everyone freaking out over Bernie having just like a coat chair?
Yeah, it's like the most normal thing a politician has ever had is a chair with a bunch of random shit on it.
Yeah, it was just like, he was like doing something and it was just like, oh, he just like has a chair that he like threw like his mail and like a bunch of like random jackets on because he like was too lazy to hang them up.
I think that's why people like him is because he's the most normal politician ever exists, despite the fact he probably does some weird shit we don't know about. Like, I don't know, his facial moisturizer is like tomato paste or something strange like that.
But even that's fine because it's not like Peter Thiel, who's like facial moisturizer is like, fetal skin cells and literal blood from like a 10-year-old. So like, or like at least Bernie Sanders is weird and much like Jason Kander, like he's weird in a way that's like not really offensive. It's just weird.
It's just like normal weird. Like, you see your neighbor doing something and you just be like, huh. And then you just kind of move on with your day versus like, Eric Greitens, like holding someone at gunpoint as he leads them down in the basement in their backyard. And you just have to like wave at him and be like, well, I'm just out here fertilizing my lawn. Hope he doesn't kill me later.
He's a Navy SEAL. Maybe he knows what he's doing.
There's also like other weird shit that like Ted Cruz once bragged that while he was in Washington, he lived on a cot and ate nothing but canned soup. That tracks. That 100% seems like something you do.
Ted Cruz is also the guy who like did the machine gun bacon, where he like wrapped bacon around the barrel of a machine gun. Yeah. And then like ate it, and it was like, and was really hoping for some what tryptophan? What is it?
Trichinosis. Yeah.
Because that was not cooked.
Trichinosis. Get him.
That bacon was not cooked whatsoever.
No, it was not. If your machine gun barrel does not get that hot, and if it does, you need to have controlled burst there, Ted.
Yeah, you gotta learn how to do controlled burst and then swap that shit out because it's gonna start bending pretty soon.
Yeah, if you're shooting your machine gun correctly, it should not cook your bacon.
Yeah, I mean it'd be like trying to cook it on like the radiator of your car, and it's like ideally shouldn't get so hot that it cooks your bacon.
Yeah, I don't. Jesus Christ! Like all I can think of is whose machine gun is that? Because if you came to me and was like, "Hey, this politician wants to get bacon grease on your gun for like a bit," fuck you. Even if it's a politician,
raw pork onto your very expensive gun.
Yeah, it's a machine gun. You need to have very specific and very expensive tax stamps for those.
I mean, in fairness, if you are like a guy who like is friendly enough with the Ted Cruz, like I don't know, campaign generally, and you also have a machine gun, you're probably the kind of motherfucker who like I don't know thinks all Muslims are allergic to bacon.
You're definitely the guy who believes in dipping bullets in bacon and whatever.
I saw a video of somebody doing that, and they were doing it in Spam, and I was like, "What happens if you shoot
Hawaiians?
Right? What happens if you shoot a Muslim Hawaiian? Are they just like but I like it?"
Yeah, I think like the graph of machine gun was tax stamp holder and guy who wants to cook bacon using a machine gun as a circle. Because like nobody goes through all of that issue because like they've believed themselves into thinking they need to own like a fully automatic weapon for self-defense. They're doing it because like it goes like they're not doing it for smart reasons.
He probably went to like one of those ranges where like, you know, like in Vegas, there's ranges where you can shoot full automatic.
There's one in Kentucky too that I use. That's pretty fun.
He probably went to one of those and was just like, hey, let me borrow a gun. Let me fuck up your gun real quick with my bacon. And then I'll give it back to you. And then you're going to make the intern fucking scrub the bacon grease off of this 240 Bravo.
Well, I mean, it's just incredible because, like, again, that's totally, those things are connected to all of the other things that we've talked about. Where, like, this concept of manhood is 100% based in consumer products. It's not anything personality based or morality based or any of these things. It's only about, like, the things that you purchase and, like, the aesthetic you wrap yourself in.
Yeah. That's why gender is bullshit unless you're a vigorous man. Vigorous man is the only gender now.
And vigorous man is defined by what kind of truck you drive, the gun you own, and how much you can spend on a non-Carhartt related jacket.
Yeah, or you know what? Like how fresh the crease is in your khakis.
I personally, I love
my 511s.
I love the new thing of like fucking with because Carhartt's like really, really nice. These people are just going to purposely like drive themselves into poverty because they can't afford anything that's actually cheap and usable anymore.
Well, and I saw someone saying too, is I mean, because like, you know, it's all supposed to be like shop equipment. So like most of it's like fairly fire retardant. So like
setting yourself on fire to own the SJ dubs.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, you know, just like, I mean, it's like that video of like the fucking, I think it was in Seattle, the Proud Boy, like trying to like break the sign and he like couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And like,
you all like fold it in half and hold on to it.
Yeah, and like similarly, all I can imagine is just like a bunch of chuds out there, just like standing in their yard, like, you know, their fucking phone is like 40 minutes into recording a video because they like did their rant earlier, and now they're just like been out there for 30 minutes trying to light their Carhartt jacket on fire.
There was somebody I was talking to because I made a tweet about that did some numbers, which always means that, you know, people who don't follow you and dumbass chuds come into your mentions and everything. And I had somebody, I had somebody who like said, well, no, I'm not gonna delete it, but or I'm not gonna, you know, get rid of my Carhartt, but I am gonna cover up the. He said he was gonna cover up the Carhartt logo because he doesn't want to do free advertising for them.
He's a NASCAR driver now?
Well, here I asked him, like, so are you going to cut a hole in it to take it out? He's like, no, I'll do something and I'll like, you know, put an American flag over it. I'm like, okay, make sure the tag doesn't say Hecho in Mexico before you do that, because a lot of their stuff is also Hechoed in Mexico, buddy.
Yeah,
so you put an American flag on that. That's fine.
Here's the glorious thing, and here's the conspiracy theory of mine. Whoever started the boycott of Carhartt is definitely like Patagonia. They're like, yeah, don't buy Carhartt jackets, bro. That shit's lib as fuck.
It would be some like Black Rifle t-shirt company or something.
Black Rifle jackets, yeah.
Black Rifle jackets. Right. It's some weird crypto fascist. Like they have one store somewhere in like deep Tennessee, and then the rest of it is stuff that you can buy online, and it'll take a month and a half to get to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
My God, is that Stalking Milk Coffee's intro music?
I was gonna say it's just grunt style, like embroidering over like, I don't know, like fucking cheap jackets that they get from like you know, wish.com or like AliExpress or something.
I could definitely see like 9line doing that.
Yeah. just like printing something on the back or something, just like calling it good enough and like shipping
I can't wait for one of these people to invent like a coffee juicero and attempt to sell it. It's gonna be great.
You gotta squeeze the beans.
I mean, that's just like that. I mean, that's just the
You gotta squeeze them vigorously.
Yeah, you gotta. That's how you become a vigorous man.
Of course, it's a Keurig, but like Keurigs are lib shit. So this has to be like, I don't know, automatic roaster 15. That way they can still call it an AR-15.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, you turn it on
I'm so sorry.
No, where you load the coffee in by pulling back the charging handle, but you have to leave your dust jacket open.
Yeah, yep. Well, then you put the barrel in your mouth, but then in order to get the cup of coffee, you have to squeeze the trigger with your toes.
It's exactly. Oh my God! It's the
gay coffee buddy shot.
No, it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia thing of you know, putting vodka in a shotgun. and then
yeah.
pouring it into your mouth, like, you got blasted in the mouth. So they're all just like putting guns in their mouth to get drunk.
Yeah, or was it the that's a Simpsons thing too, where he has the makeup gun.
Yes.
Yeah, Homer, you have it set to whore.
Yeah, you just have to have it set to Missouri Man, and then you're good.
All these guys putting AR-15s in their mouth, get like a dribble of coffee.
Well, gentlemen, I hope we're all good, vigorous men now. Good.
I don't feel very
Missouri
vigorous.
Men.
I'm going to be honest with you.
I don't either. I don't know what vigorous feels. I don't know what vigorous manhood feels like, and I don't want to. I don't want to know what that feels like.
If I felt something vigorous, I wouldn't enjoy it all that much.
If you felt a vigorous manhood, you would not. It would be in the dark, and you would probably not want that.
I mean, if you. The only time I feel like you would ever feel vigorous in 2022 is if you've just like done a couple lines of blow.
Wait, is this whole thing just like this? This is a whole challenge done by big cocaine.
We're just circling back to being Navy SEALs again,
and the pocket of big cocaine. Yeah, both.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, everybody who listened. Thank you I hope that you too can become vigorous Missouri men or vigorous Missouri women. Women weren't mentioned in this, but we are kicking toxic masculinity to the curb and being vigorous. I don't know what any of it means, but we're against it.
Be vigorous wherever you want to be, or don't be vigorous wherever you want to be. Take a strong stand with vigorous.
More like vigorous humanity.
This is America. You be who you want.
As long